Alright, here we go. We are at Valley Trail Riders. I think this is this our fourth race? The 2022 season. Oh, I just had to leave that family running across the starting line. So going ahead in front of us is going to end up being the what are they?
All right, good luck, buddy.
Hey, you too.
Thank you.
34,
Luck,
something to 34. I forget what age range. And now we're up to us going for the 35 plus C riders. That guy in the light blue and white that was right next to me, he's like, yeah, usually I'm up front, you know, I'm not worried about the guy next to me. Yep, he had a nice good start there. This was a different start. This is the first time I've ever been across the road on the starting line, and usually we kind of start off on the like miniature motocross track. There's a couple jumps in there, so that's, like I said, this was new to me. So boom, we're off to the start. I'm on the KTM 150 XCW TPI. Let's see, you can see right there on the handlebars, I moved over my Mako 360 from the 300 over to the 150 for one huge major reason. That 150 vibrates like no other. The countershaft motor in the 300, oh, that baby it's pretty smooth. And man, this 150 is doing a job on my hands, that's for sure. Talking about having your hands go numb. But here we go. I'm gonna call this race the Mark Becker Special. If you guys know or don't know know of Mark Becker, he's been around this District 14 racing series for a long time. He's known for the tight woods and all those tight woods that you guys went through. I'm pretty sure that was Mark Becker. He was out there though. He was the shorter guy out there in the mud pit helping you out and watching everything. So he was definitely out and about doing things. I kind of wish we would have went over the old little log jump thing they had going on. We didn't go over that this year. Let's go to the logs here. Some tires. I did make a mistake on these tires. I went right up the center, right between two tires. As I was doing that, I was thinking, oh, please don't let my tire get stuck in there and go right over the handlebars. But nope, luckily I made it over. No problem. A little dusty this race, you know. Dust is dust. But it was definitely wet and tacky in the woods mostly, so that was good. And I definitely have to say, the guys that were out in the forest reworking some of these spots, you guys did a great job, because there was some, yeah, I know, another backup. Yeah, go figure, right? There was some backups that would have definitely been forming from mud holes and everything, and boom, I like went through some semi stuff, not even too bad, but before you know it, it was roped off and we were rerouted. So good job, good job. So funny story for you, I put the Cref Moto suspension on the 150, and it's a lowered suspension, maybe about an inch, which is perfect for me, you know, with my 29-inch inseam on my pants. And I went and drove it in the backyard, and I'm like riding the bike, and I know something's off with that rear shock. It just too bouncy, way too bouncy. I should have known it at the Whiskey Creek race, because that back end was bucking like no other, and I had mentioned it in the video, and I thought it was possibly just a spring rate issue. And I went and looked up the specs on the spring, and the spring's exactly what's on the 150. And I'm like, well, you know, the 300's got more weight, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up avoiding this coming up in the future, thank God. I'm trying to go through right on the left, and boom, there was a stump right there. Not enough speed. Whoops. And rather than dig myself in, I just hopped off the bike, walked it up a little bit, get back on, and we're going. Boom. Yeah, so I go in right around the backyard. I'm like, no, there's something wrong with this. So I do a little Googling, and boom, I run across, yeah, there's probably no nitrogen in there. You're just riding on the spring only. And it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense. So I've done my own nitrogen in my 300 shock. Just use that little special bolt that you can put a needle in it and filled it up. Well, I thought I had an extra one. I could not find it for the life of me. So I was like, well, I'm not going to exactly probably find a place that's going to throw any nitrogen on a Saturday, and I definitely don't want to be waiting around. So I took off my Craft Moto suspension, put back on the stock suspension, but I did take out the, alright, those question marks on there. There's a path like off to the left. Look at it. It's going to the left. There's something here, but there's some tape here. And the biggest reason why I have this up in the video is after looking at the race results and just a gut feeling about something during the race, I was doing really good. Oh man, I'm broken tape. I just went through 2 rows of broken tape, and I'm just like, what is going on? I didn't see it during the race. You know, you're racing, you're following people, but so my lap time for like lap number 1 was right around, I think, like 24, 25 minutes. And I'm looking at a couple other people's, they're like anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. I'm like, how did I accumulate an extra 14, 15 minutes of lap time? Well, a good group of us, it looks like about, I think I added up about 14 people in my class, all had like 23, 24, 25 minutes of lap time for lap number 1. So somehow or other, yeah, you know, someone blew through some tape and it kind of messed up that first lap. I know Jason was one of them. He wasn't very happy about it. I mean, honestly, I'm not, but I've learned that you guys, this is for all the people that help put on these races. You guys really work hard to put these races on for us, and you have no power over someone blowing through the tape and all that kind of stuff. And you guys did a great job rerouting. So I'm not going to slam anything. It is what it is. I'm not racing for points, but I know other people are, and you know, it is what it is. I got that rant out. Let's get back to racing. It's definitely had a mix of everything. A couple straightaways, some fields. What else did we have on here? My favorite spot, but I don't think it's going to be on here because this is just lap number 1. This is the short lap of number 1. Was that it's not a river. It's kind of like a creek, and it had the trail going right next to it. But if you made a mistake and you went down to that creek, you would definitely have not been happy. So that was my favorite spot of the whole thing. I just, I don't know, I like that. I like the risk versus reward. Like, you were gonna freaking, if you made a mistake, you're definitely going down somewhere bad. Yeah, there's more tape down. Look at, oh my gosh. Looking back at this footage, I'm just like, yeah, so many trails, so many choices. Bridges were cool. I always have a tiny bit of a fear going over a bridge, like I'm gonna come up and slide on it and end up down in the creek. Kind of like the reason I very rarely take that log bridge over at Battle Creek. That is definitely a risk versus reward, but the risk I'm not willing to take. I've accidentally went across it a couple times, but I don't personally like it. It's too far of a drop, and knowing me, I'll probably freaking land with the bike right on top of me and be pinned down there. Of course, they always have someone working that area, but yeah, I don't feel like having my bike fall on me. Pretty good turnout as always. This year has been kicking butt with the turnouts. Oh my gosh. I'm like so happy to be back racing and then see the amount of people turning out. That's definitely something really cool. Yeah, a little speed going on. trying to think if I did anything else to the bike besides just I put back on the Trail Tech Voyager there. You can see right up behind the number plate in front of the Mako 360. The stock one, I don't know, the display was all jacked up on it. I originally got the bike with this Voyager on it, decided to take it off, and then ended up putting it back on. But it was good. I used it as a little stopwatch for doing the race. I got a little picture in the end. I think I was somewhere in the 2 hour, 34 minute range. But mentally, this is mentally for me, just, you know, you get a little tired out and everything, just looking down and being like, oh, I got 2 hours, I got a little bit more to go, let's keep pushing. That was actually a pretty big booster there. Speaking of booster, what's up, buddy? You gonna come out to a race? I know you gotta come out to Polka Dots. Even if you and I race Team C together, because, you know, you haven't been racing and you might not want to commit to a full race, I will race Team C with you, so let me know. Actually, I'll reach out to you just in case you don't watch this video. And if you guys don't know who Booster is, maybe some of you newer guys, go check out his YouTube videos. It's kind of like the circle of life. When I was looking at getting into racing, I ran across Booster's videos, and he kind of inspired me to go race hare scrambles compared to maybe enduros or motocross. I really liked the format, and he explained a lot of stuff, and boom, boom, boom. And then I started doing videos, and then literally at this race, I had a guy come up to me and he's like, oh, you know, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, you kind of like influenced me to start racing. So this was my first year racing. And I was like, sweet. And so kind of, yeah, like I said, you know, people start doing videos, newer people, and they inspire people that that might not have normally came out. You gotta, you know, sometimes just to see it, see how fun it is, you're like, oh, I want to do that too. Yep, he was moving. He was moving. So, if you watched the last video where I was talking about, you know, like getting over whenever faster people are coming through. Oh, I had a mix this time. I was going to throw it in the video, but I don't feel like chasing it down. So, someone came up behind me, and they weren't even loud. I could just, like, barely hear that someone's there. He gets by me and he yells, "Move over!" I'm like, ooh, okay. And then I get other people that get right behind me and they give a rev. As soon as I can get over, I'm getting over. And I get the thank you. Such a switch of mix of everything. I'm just like, yeah, okay, buddy. Move over. This was a tight one where it was a little bit harder to move over, especially the tight stuff. So be patient. That's all I gotta say. Be patient. This isn't only your race. That's a thought that gets in my head. I know I might catch a little feedback from that, but we're all out here to race. I understand you're faster. I understand you guys move and you gotta work around traffic, but I'm out here to race too. You know, hey, it is what it is. We're not all A-class expert riders. Wah, wah. So I'm figuring out the gearing with this 150. With the 300, I think I can pretty much keep it in third gear and just freaking perfect amount of torque, perfect amount of speed when I need to get on it. Right now, I think I'm in third gear, and you have to be at a certain speed to kind of like keep in that nice sweet spot. But when I go into second gear, when it's just a little bit slower, it just like revs up really super quick, and it's just not enough speed. You're just like hitting it really quick. Wow! I'm like, yeah, well, all right, third gear it is. So I'm still figuring out that gearing. I have this slight feeling that like an XC would probably be geared for what I would want it to be, because if I did change the actual gearing with just like a sprocket, then like third gear would end up being a little bit funny, and then first and second would end up being even worse. So, like, to actually change the gears inside the transmission would probably end up being expensive. But, you know, more digging, and I don't know if I feel like thinking into that. But, am loving the 150. 150 is actually almost pretty much kind of close to my cooler than my 200. My 200 had just that perfect blend of what I needed. Wasn't too heavy, and this one has electric start on it. So, boom, boom, boom. Did have to pick up the bike a couple times. You know, just like stupid little things. Just getting caught up in some woods. One time, whenever I was moving over for someone, I did get caught up on this. It's like a little 6-inch tree that was laying sideways, but it was like a foot in the air. So I kind of like hit it, got over it, but didn't make the back tire over. So I had to kind of mess with that for a minute. But everything was pretty chill compared to the last race. You know, the last race I freaking ate it twice really good, and then this race, nothing too bad. So definitely different sides of everything. Need to clutch it more. That's right. Clutch, go. Cut it through. I did hit my bark busters way more than any of the previous races that I've been in, like this whole year. It's just like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh, thank God these are not flag style where they can come in and squish my hands. Because I'm not sure how good those hold up. I've always ran wraparound bark busters. And my new favorites, which I've mentioned it before, are the Enduro Engineering ones. Biggest reason is how they mount up to the handlebars in the front. They have this like little low spot, and then it goes up, and it allows your cables and everything to go through. Whenever I use the other ones, the Pro Bends, they didn't really have that. I always had something else that made it a little bit different to be able to mount them. You know, I had my flex bars, or I had this, I had that, and these ones actually bolt up really good and have good clearance, so I'm happy with them. I am gonna do the tap at the end of the handlebars inserts and get that nice good thing there, because these are loosening up a tiny bit throughout the race with a little bit of banging. And I tighten them pretty good, just that amount where you don't want it to go too tight and strip the bolt, but or strip the head on the bolt. Burp, burp. I was trying to get a little jump on this, but it really wasn't jumpy. So you can see, let's see. Yeah. This is my second time coming through this section right here. That's probably whenever I knew that I don't think something's right. I'm going through this twice. Oh boy. And I haven't even hit scoring yet. But like I said, it is what it is. Some other people might be a little bit more mad than I am. I know you guys put in a good amount of work with getting this done. I did go through, look at the lap times at other classes. Like, I think it was like Open B and B. They were all, boom, 8-9 minutes. Everyone was, you know, really consistent. I didn't see one single 25-ish range. It wasn't until the C class, I think 2 classes before me, that I started seeing these 20s going in for the first lap. So my guess is that's when the tape came down. Whoa! There's Mark Becker, the man, the legend. I got walking like a dog. Oh, we got shot. I didn't even realize that. Hopefully I give you guys a camera wipe, because I barely previewed this. I just went to the first lap and cut it, and I was like, yep, that's it. Beat up, I'm sore. Oh boy. I gave you guys a wipe, but not the best wipe. That's alright.
Well, that was not a good line for us.
At the end of the video, I got my lap times. Got my place, 18th place, which, you know, hey, it's 18th place with a really messed up first lap with an extra 15 minutes. Because this race I did not stop for a battery change. I heard my camera run out and I was like, nope, not changing it. I got a good flow going. I haven't had no big falls. And so that's that. And then from the falls from the last race, see, I think I went over there to the left. Okay. Anyways, falls from the last race, like all the way from my elbow to my right shoulder, super bruised up. Freaking, I didn't know if I was gonna make it to this race. How bad my shoulder was hurting. I can't really lift my hand too good above my up past my head area. And then especially like stretching it back. And then the definitely took a good tumble on my right leg. And I got a bruise, probably about the size of a football. Thank God it does not hurt, but boy does it look visually bad. So you guys have to, if you made it this far.
I'm not expecting that long.
What did I just say? Something, that log. Back to the log crossing. Come on, guys, get on it. Get those This was definitely the log crossing one, because there was a couple tricky ones. There was one like going up to a hill, and then you had a little log at the top of the hill. There was a log crossing that was there. I'm not sure if it was that one that we just passed, but they started forming a line like around it. I always perform better when I see people around. Not other racers, but spectators. I always just push it a little bit harder, and I won't say showing off, but I just like pushing it a little bit harder. Like, oh, look at that guy go. Now, if I had people like that throughout the whole race, I don't know. I might actually put down some good lap times. Worm. You hear the sound of that 150 roaring like a thunder beast. Oh yeah, so look at, I'm right here. There's a guy right there. So I cross over because I see arrows right here. I don't know what the hell happened there. I have no idea, and I don't even think this is even the spot that I originally got lost, because this is 23 minutes in. Look at, yeah, we're lost. That's alright. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I think that's what happens when you have so many old trails, and whenever someone goes through the tape and an old trail just flows into another trail, you just look at it, it just looks right. I do like the fresh cut stuff. It's not usually what I would like. I think that was Taylor there. I meant to yell your name like, hey Taylor, but it's already like rolling by, and you know, if you look too long you're ending up in a tree anyway, so I just did a quick glance. You definitely tell those YZ125s, those things got a raspy little rap to them. Whoops. I should have went over there to the left and around them, but he's going kind of quickish. Right before scoring. I don't think this is my class anyway, so it don't really matter. like to go fast until I get around scoring, then I'm slow. That's it. Cut it. There you go. Jeff Carroll, 18th place. Thank you to District 14 Hare Scramble Photos. These are some nice photos. If you guys not been on their Facebook page, you definitely have to go. Just have to thumb through the pictures. Hopefully you find one of you. Hopefully you do. Well, look at that. Bruises. Yep. That's a week later. Oh, I took out the one on my leg. Ha 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 ha. I'm telling you, that one was nasty. But that's it. I'm tired. Later, and auf Wiedersehen.